Hello everybody. I'm going to be taking you through the 4 steps to daily oral self-care. So the first step in this process is tongue scraping. And I just use Dr. Tongue's metal tongue scraper. You can get this in copper, other metals, whatever you prefer. And the way that you do this is by just sticking it to the back of your mouth, like close to the back of your mouth on your tongue, and just drawing forward in a pulling motion, scraping off all that white excess dead skin cells and bacteria that's accumulated on your tongue throughout the night. This should typically or ideally be done first thing in the morning before you rinse even, so you can get rid of all of that bacteria right away. So let's go ahead and try. And you just repeat that maybe 5 or 6 times and you're good. Okay, so for step 2 in our oral hygiene self-care is the rinse. This can be done just as you would with a generic mouthwash, using salt water, even just regular spring water, whatever you prefer. It's meant to just act as a rinse aid and to help remineralize as well as rebalance the oral microbiome. So in my case, I'm using this product that I made called the Twinkle Tooth Rinse, and it's meant to mineralize, soothe, alkalize, and act as an antibacterial. So I'm just going to put a little bit in my mouth and swish it around. You can gargle if you'd prefer, and then just spit it out. This has spring water, a couple tinctures in it, neem, oak bark, golden seal, nettle, some Celtic gray sea salt, and wintergreen essential oil to help give me that feeling of freshness after. So let's do a rinse. Alright, and that's that. So for the third step, we're going to talk about toothbrushing. And there's a lot of different ways that you can do this. The way that I prefer is using the 45-degree angle method. This can be done with a manual toothbrush. An electric toothbrush kind of already does the work for you, so I wouldn't recommend going against the work of the electric. But if you do have a manual toothbrush, if that's your preferred device, then I will show you how to brush properly. Brushing is really good for helping to stimulate the gums, remineralize the teeth area, as well as help eliminate biofilm and plaque accumulation. Basically, when we brush, we want to break up the plaque party that's happening on our tooth surface. So I'll just come up here and I'll show you. When we're brushing the top teeth, we are using small round motions in at a downward angle, and the bottom teeth we're doing small circular motions at an upward angle. So kind of like this. Like that, and then here. Yeah, and paying close attention to angling the toothbrush on the gum line at 45 degrees so that we can really penetrate the gum line and help bust all those little plaques and bacteria that are hanging out there. The other thing to mention about toothbrushes is that you want to keep them separated from other people's toothbrushes. Bacteria can hop, so it's better to just keep everything separated. And if you want, you can keep like a saltwater solution next to your sink to just dip it in afterwards to keep it really clean. If you notice that your brush head is looking really worn in, that's a sign that you may be over brushing, using too much force. The point of brushing is not to brush the teeth really, or to polish the teeth, we can perform that in subsequent steps. It's really just to help the body eliminate plaque. You're just doing the work for your body. You're just giving it a little bit of a boost. All right, so for the fourth step, we are going to floss, or whatever you prefer. You can floss, you can use a sulca brush, you can use a gum tip stimulator, anything to really give our gums some extra love. And why is this so important? Our gums need to be massaged and need to be stimulated daily. Gingivitis really starts to set in after 48 hours of neglect, and toothbrushing just isn't enough. Toothbrushing is great, and it definitely kickstarts that massage process, but it doesn't target that inaccessible bacteria and the food particles that get lodged into our teeth daily. So when we give our gums a little extra love, it goes a long way. So I typically use a gum stimulator. I find it more comfortable, find the experience and the process more enjoyable. But for now, I'm using a silk floss, and you can see it here. It's quite lovely. I like that it's soft, it's biodegradable, whatever you prefer, no judgment. Just saying, just putting it out there for everybody. And yeah, I usually just rip off enough to be able to wrap it around my fingers comfortably. They also make floss holding devices that are really helpful for getting into the back, upper, and bottom molars that are quite hard to get into, and you're using your string and irritating this part of your mouth. So I sometimes floss just with the string alone, or I apply a gumdrop to it. So I made these yummy gumdrops, and they are alkalizing, antimicrobial, and invigorating. And I just add 1 drop to my floss and floss from there. So this has a beautiful blend of essential oils in it, known for having gum-directed benefits, as well as some fractionated coconut oil, just to help give me some lubrication when I'm flossing. So in terms of flossing, I'm sure there's a right way to do it. I just do what's comfortable, and I just wrap it around my finger, and then kind of just pop it in, and I just follow the tooth line all the way back until I reach every tooth that I can. Okay. And that's it. Something to get used to. If you haven't flossed in a while, you may have a little soreness after, a little tenderness, maybe some bleeding gums, but it's a really good thing to start getting used to. Okay, and to top it all off, if you have the time and you have the interest, please consider polishing your teeth. It's not only good for helping to remove surface stains, is part of like a natural whitening protocol, but it also is good for us just in terms of our understanding and appreciation of our beauty. And not saying having white teeth is beautiful, but I think a lot of people are interested in having whiter looking teeth, and this is a natural way that you can help achieve that. Polishing is, as I said, wonderful for removing surface stains. It also has the benefit of remineralizing your enamel, and it's just nice. It's a nice self-care, self-love thing to do. So what I usually do twice a week, I really wouldn't recommend doing it much more than that, because it is abrasive by nature. We don't really want to be exfoliating or rubbing anything too aggressively on our teeth enamel. So yeah, twice a week is perfect. And I made this product called Potent Polishing Powder, and it's brightening, balancing, and mineralizing. So you just apply a very small pinch to a dry toothbrush, and then you can add either a drop of a gumdrop that you make yourself or a drop of coconut oil to the toothbrush just to help give it a little bit more movement. And you're just kind of polishing in small round motions around the front of your teeth. You don't really need to go too far back, but just containing all the energy at the front of your teeth. So this has some sea salt in it, some baking soda, activated charcoal, and some arrowroot powder, which are all alkaline and known to help remineralize. They carry some trace minerals in them. So I'm going to take my toothbrush base, and then I'm going to stick a different head on it. This is my polishing head, which is separate from my regular toothbrush head, and it's always dry. It's black because I use charcoal. And I'm just going to open my polishing powder. Oops. Here we go. Going to open my gumdrops. I'm going to add one gumdrop to the toothbrush. That side. And then I'm just going to dip my toothbrush head into the powder. Maybe a little more. Pick up just enough. There's no right way to do this. That seems good to me. See that? And then I'm just going to go over the sink, ideally. Right now I have a bowl. And just polish like this. Just like that. You don't need to go on the gum line. I try to avoid the gum line. It's just all about the teeth in this case. And then you are going to rinse. I can't rinse right now, but if I could, I would. And then that's about it.